A very good morning to everyone, and welcome to the Faculty Development Program on Research Paper Writing and Publication on SCOPUS and Web of Science Journals. The FDP is organized by the School of Media and Communication, Adamas University, and shall continue till July 14, 2023. The FDP will have two sessions, 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. That will be the first session. And then again 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. for the second session for all 5 days, including today. Now, on this propitious occasion, I would like to thank the authorities of Adamas University and the School of Media and Communication to grant us the resources to arrange for such a collaborative and favorable learning program. Now here, I would like to start with a quote from Dan Brown, one of my favorite authors, and also a writer, an author for The Lost Symbol. Google is not a synonym for research, rightly said. However, there are tools and technologies embedded in Google which can lead us to write and every possible kind of information that we are constantly searching for. Therefore, the need for proper information in conceptualizing, exploring, formulating, analyzing, concluding, and referencing is required to conduct research that would have a wider application and longer durability. Now, when we come to the FDP, the aim is to facilitate knowledge sharing and discussions with a large number of academic and industry professionals, research scholars, and students regarding the importance of research writing, skills, and current opportunities in media and communication studies. The eminent scholars, academicians, and researchers who are pioneers in their respective fields have agreed to bless the occasion with their knowledge and philosophy in each stage of research writing. We hope that the occasion will enhance the existing knowledge of research writing, at the same time add new knowledge in the field to benefit all the participants who are willing to bring positive change through research and development. Now, I would like to call our Associate Dean, Professor Dr. Akashdeep Muni, to come on the stage to grace the occasion. Sir, please.
A very good morning to all the dignitaries present here, my fellow colleagues, and researcher around the country. Today is a very auspicious occasion. Why I say this as auspicious? Because today in this faculty development program, we have been graced by more than 10 registrations from more than 10 states in this country, from 15 particular institutions in this country, including all the high-ranking institutions. And today we have been graced as a participant, dignitaries from Indian Institute of Mass Communication, New Delhi, from Pune, from Bhubaneswar, from West Bengal, from down south Kerala, and even from Jammu and Kashmir. So this particular faculty development program is national in all its sense. So that's why I call it auspicious. One important factor which we all talk about is that research. Research in media is an interesting factor. Why I say this research in media is an interesting factor? Because it affects everyone. To make my point simple, I'll give you one example. There's a theory called spiral of silence theory, which has been brought after a number of research. Now, what is spiral of silence theory? Spiral of silence theory is that when a person goes into a group and he or she, if has an opposite point of view to the group, he or she keeps silence. How big this particular theory impacts us, especially with the advent of social media, be it Instagram or specifically Twitter, and how it shapes what type of human beings we are, says so much about this theory. Today, while we, another theory called cognitive dissonance theory. These theories are implemented today, and more research is to be done on this with the incoming of AI. Why I say AI? Recently, you might remember that Elon Musk, who is the owner of Twitter now, said that there are a number of AI bots in Twitter. So just imagine that today, through a non-human being can shape your thought process, can decide what you communicate and where you keep silent, and totally change the course of opinion of yours. These things we came into conclusion after huge magnitude of research and quality research. And that is where this particular faculty development program comes, to enhance quality research so that the publications that is happening should be in the ACE SCOPUS index journals or Web of Science journals. So mainly our point of view here today is to bring forward a culture of quality research and then publication, keeping in sight the society into consideration and pave a part of holistic development for each other and the society. With this, I want to welcome you all to Faculty Development Program on Research Paper Writing and Publications at Adamas University, Kolkata. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the lovely speech and encouraging us to proceed with the program. Now we have a small surprise for you. History has witnessed that big things, big decisions, and big ideas came out of discussions, right? So that's why we have actually arranged very, very fruitful discussions from interdisciplinary perspective for all of your reference. Now we would move on to this panel discussion. I would now like to call our honored guest, Professor Dr. Rajesh Das, in charge Department of Mass Communication, the University of Bardhaman, to come on stage. Sir is a phenomenon researcher itself and has published many research or manuscript. His manuscripts has been published in many international and national journals, and he has contributed and edited many books. Thank you, sir. Now, as I was talking about the interdisciplinary approach, right? So who is better than our very own Professor Dr. Dipankar Bhattacharya, sir? Sir is a Pro Vice Chancellor and Dean School of Basic and Applied Sciences. Yes, sir. So this is what I was talking about, the interdisciplinary approach. So he would definitely tell you not only from the perspective of social science, but the science also, because research is also science, right? And then we would call our third panelist, Professor Dr. Akashdeep Muni, Associate Dean, School of Media and Communication, to join us. Media person, media researchers, media scholars. So he would definitely able to give you a very good perspective from the media research. Okay, so we are going to start our panel discussions. I would one by one call our panelist. The topic is very interesting and interdisciplinary in approach. It's importance of media and communication research and publication in quality journals. So I would like to call Rajesh sir for the very first panel member to say something on that. Thank you.
Good morning, respected panelist, Professor Deepankar Bhattacharya, Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Akash Deep Muni, Associate Dean, School of Media and Communication, Professor Dev Kumar Chakraborty, Honorable Dean, School of Design, all the participants, convener, co-conveners, the faculty members of School of Media and Communication, Adamas Universities, all the non-teaching members in this unit, participants, and at last the beloved students. Already, Professor Shayok, he defined the title, the scope, the bottom line of these panel discussions. But at first, I want to share my definitely a sincere thanks and gratitude to the entire organizing team of this faculty development program for inviting me in this prestigious academic endeavor. The entire team of Adamas University, the convener, the co-conveners, and the department, they raised a very pertinent, relevant issues that reads the publication in journal, more specifically Scopus related journals. Because these Scopus related journal publication is not only related with one individual's career, but also very much important determines considering the IQAC and NIRF ranking of any academic institution. So from these context, no doubt, it will be a very relevant discussion. The topic, the theme already mentioned Mr. Shayok. Professor Shayok and Ipshita continuously communicate with me and send several emails regarding this program, regarding this faculty development program. And from their mail and the brochure, I try to define some objectives followed by the outcomes. Because from 10 to 14, I hope 10 to 14, the program will continue. Then what is the objectives of the program? And end of the day, what will be the ultimate fate? That is the outcomes. That I want to explore here. In these FDP, the faculties and the scholars from the different states, already Professor Muni mentioned, more than 10 states and 15 academic institutions from all over the India, from Pune to IMC, from IMC to Jammu and Kashmir, have been participating to know a constructive guidelines on how to design a research paper for any reputed journal. So in this context, in this outset, I try to share some of my observations so that the participant can fully utilize the technical sessions more systematically. The plethora of technical session, 4 hours, 5 hours technical session duration. But what would be the route map to utilize this program? So from this context, just I want to mention 2 or 3 paradigm or the bottom lines. Number 1, what will be the typology? What will be the typology of the focus development program? In the coming 5 days that already mentioned Professor Shayok, from 10 to 14th July, in the coming 5 days, the participant from 10 states or the 15 academic of all over the institutions, they will interact with the renowned academicians regarding the directions and advice of paper writing and publication in reputed journals. But to utilize this lecture series derived by the interact by the teachers, faculty, academician, media professional, media personnel more effectively, it will be better if the participant can prepare a tentative topic of research problem in their concerned areas. So the very first day, it will be an headline structure. Like in the media and communication, they could define any specific title for this research program. Before defining their research problem, they should be clear on which area they would like to focus. For example, in the area of communication and media research, there are 3 broad areas of research, and that is research over on institutions, research over on audiences, and research over on text. After defining the area of research, it would be easy to identify the theoretical assumption of structure of science. That means the paradigm, the structure. Kathamo ki hobe? What will be the structure is very important of the research. In social science, Arthur Sabarger already defined the 5 consecutive paradigms. Not the paradigms, the 5 consecutive area or the catalyst that build up the paradigms of the social science. And these are ontological, epistemological, methodological, ethical, and finally, how much it is practical, feasible or not for any research-based findings. It is obvious that the academic personnel will deliver, the faculty members, the researcher, the professionals, the media professionals, they will deliver a diversified knowledge on research writing. But if the participant can define the research problem and followed by the design or research paradigm accordingly, these 2 consecutive staircase, then they can categorize the research input more systematically from this selected lecture. Just consider there are the 5 distinct buckets are there. They get lots of information from 10 to 14 according to the problem, according to the design. Just they keep their research input in these specific buckets. Next, objective number 2, from typology to research design, based on this, focused on this FDP. For any publication research design, for like in SCOPUS or any other, the care list or anything, the research design, we may consider the nerve cell. That is, research design is a kind of blueprint of any scientific, systematic, and methodological research work. No doubt, it's a very broad and multifaceted dimension, which includes research methodologies, research tools, and technique to conduct a research, followed by the research writing in any reputed journal like SCOPUS. Here, for the participants, it's my observation that participant may consider this is a research bed, kind of bed. And this research bed is covered with some theoretical overview according to the research problem. So one is design, another is the problem. This framework will help to identify the problem that may raise during the process of research and analysis after research questions are Q and or hypothesis, which one demand according to that problem. It's my request to the respected participants from different states to clarify the concept of research design and methodology. One is research problem, the design, and the methodology. It can be stated that research design is the overall, the whole building, the admin building of Adamas University. Research design is the overall structure of the research, whereas research method or the procedure that will be the used to collect, followed by analyze the data. So research design is a plan to answer the research questions, predefined question, RQ. And the research method is a strategy used to implement that plan. So first problem, then the review of literature is a very sensitive area. The mode of literature, whether it will be the historical literature or the horizontal literature or the theoretical literature or the variable-based literature. Review of literature is the very sensitive area. So problem to literature, literature to either argue or the hypothesis, then try to articulate the design. Design will help to reach the research method. Based on research questions and problems. So what is, in a nutshell, what is design and what is methodology? Based on research question or research problem, research design can be articulated. On the other hand, research methodology depends on research design. This is the vis-a-vis relationship between research design and research methodology. Probably it is very accepted, it is very obvious that the participant will get the maximum interaction, deliberation, class note, the everything, interaction from the respected faculty members or the resource person in the forthcoming days. So they should be very careful to take the notes on these topics according to their predefined research problem. Again, I want to mention the bucket theory, that the definite defined color, different color or buckets are there. You should collect the inputs on research design and or the methodology and keep in that specific bucket. In this area, I personally prefer for publication, though it's my own perception, qualitative research work instead of quantification. Why? It's okay. A qualitative research work instead of quantification, because sometimes it's quite tough to collect a big number of required meaningful sample within the very short time that would be considered as the proper representation of the population. Again, some logistic inconvenience, funding problems are also significant barrier to conduct a survey for a research publication with a very short time, because this is the publication for the SCOPUS, not for the PhD work, not for the research project. So I prefer, instead of quantification, qualitative data analysis would be more easier to conduct, to write up a research article. If scholars are really interested, maybe some participants, they are very eager to write up a research article based on the qualitative, quantitative data. So in that case, if the scholars are really interested to quantitative research, then they can deal with some depository data like National Family Health Survey, Series 4, Series 5, like marketing behavior of the media and entertainment industry, produced by FICI, maybe KPMG, maybe PwC, this kind of report. They may consider at the research pool for quantitative research work, and they could consider this data as a secondary data source, and it will be quite easier from this context, from this baseline. It will be very easier to write a research article after a systematic statistical analysis through quantitative study. Now come to qualitative, from quantitative to qualitative. All we know, for qualitative study, the group discussion, KII, that is the key information. The number 3 would be the participatory observational method, in-depth interview, psychoanalysis, and the case study. So these 6 are the most popular and used research methodology for qualitative. But from these 6 methodologies, I just want to focus on case study because it is very, very sensitive. It's very, very sensitive. I'm requesting all participants, be careful when you want to study a case study, because case study is a very sensitive method. Just if you try to read the Dominic and other books, then you will define what will be the dimension, multifaceted dimension of the case study, because it's a number of cases, one variable, number of predictions, number of points for measurement, using gradation for independent variables. So these are closely related with case study. So among the whole pool of the qualitative research, I want to focus over on case study. You will be very careful when you try to explore any case study according to your research design. In this context, I am requesting to all the participants just to visit UGC CARE website to get a distinct list of journals under UGC CARE and the SCOPUS accordingly. All we know that it's too painful to see in social media sites, lots of institutes are continuously demanding that their journal are under the SCOPUS list. Categorically, we want to say that this is a very unholy trap by some business wala, some business organization. So just you go to the UGC CARE, then you will get the 2 distinct lists, the CARE list and the SCOPUS. And I am requesting all the participants in this faculty development program that you will be alert against such malpractice. Finally, I want to say that there are more than 20 or 25 number of participants from more than 10 states and 15 academic institutions in this faculty development program organized by the Adamas School of Communication. And these 20 participants in these FDP who will design their research problem through a systematic review of literature. Number 1, research design, that includes, already we mentioned, number of staircases, objective, RQ, if required hypothesis, followed by the theoretical foundation, and a defined research methodology. So I would suggest to all the participants that before the valedictory session, maybe it will be held on 14, they can submit just 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 pages of writer, and to submit to the convener or the co-conveners or anyone that is their research from the problem to design. And it will be the pool of indigenous research design guided by the Adamas School, drafted by you, the respected participants. And it will be an they are very serious for the publication. It will be a very fruitful publication by the School of Media and Communication. And no doubt it will be an indigenous knowledge system on social science research. We'll get at least 20 or 25 numbers of indigenous research problem followed by its methodology. I hope finally these focus development program, faculty development program will help all of you, all the participants, to create a pool of research ideas, and the techniques so that you can avail the right publication option and contribute towards the academic. So in a brief, in a nutshell, this may help to channelize the outcome. Already we mentioned what will be the objective, what will be the outcomes from these faculty development program 10 to 14. So channelize the outcomes for this faculty development program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You have rightly pointed out all the parameters, though we are yet to cover 5 more days. We have a lot to learn. So without wasting more time, I would like to call Dr. Bhattacharya to share his thoughts on this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Rajesh Das. You made my job a little bit difficult because you covered most of the areas already. So I would like to share just some of the basics here. But before that, I would like to thank our Media and Communication Department, each and everyone, the team of Media and Communication. They actually arranged this thing, and it's really good. And it's important also today to learn how to write articles and publish in SCOPUS or other WS journals. Now, first of all, I would like to just say basics. When we write some articles and send it to a journal, what happens to those articles? This is the most important thing. The journals, until and unless it's a predatory journal, where we can submit anything, and they will publish anything if we pay for it. But we are not talking about those kind of predatory journals. We are talking about good quality journals. That means those SCI, SCOPUS, WS, we're talking about that. So when we are submitting any article to those journals, what happens to those articles? They are basically selling it. So, and they charge money to sell those articles. So until and unless your article is sellable, no good quality journal is going to publish it. So first thing, you have to think of the sellable point of view. Now, how you can make your article sellable? That's the most important thing here. See, if there is interest in that area, then people will find interest and they will try to buy it. So you have to identify some research areas which are of interest in the present time. If imagine we write some articles which was relevant long back, it was relevant, then nobody today is going to search for that article, and the journal is not going to sell your article. So they are not interested in such articles. So you have to find areas where people in today's world, they will find some kind of interest. And in most of the areas, a lot of research has already been done. So we have to focus on interdisciplinary areas. So if we connect different areas, it becomes easy for us to publish in good quality journals. And another thing, always you try to just think of Whenever we are writing an article, we may write, say, 50 pages, 60 pages. But do you think a person is going to be interested to read a 60-page article? No. So your article should be pretty much precise, focused. So if your article is focused, your language is lucid. That means people are easily can understand your language. People will find interest to read those articles. So it should be very clear. What Sir was mentioning about what is research? Research is to prove or disprove a hypothesis. So your hypothesis should be clear and your hypothesis should be relevant in today's world. And you write your research questions based on the literature review. So once you do the literature review, should we start the literature review from 1920 and continue till 2023? Obviously not, because people will not find interest in those articles which are published in 1920 because the context has changed. So maybe 10 years, maximum 15 years, you do the literature review, identify the research gap, and based on that, you write an article. The major area in those articles, what is really important is the flow of logic. That is very much important for an article. It happened with one of my article, actually with one of my students. It was rejected 4 times, but with the same content. When we rewrote that article, it was published in a journal with impact factor close to 7. So what change we made? We improved the methodology section, because until and unless the methodology section is very clear, nobody will find interest in reading your article. So methodology should be very much logical. And another mistake, what I often observed, people will say that I found this information from Wikipedia and we are citing this in this article, which is not correct. We cannot cite any information which is published in such kind of websites. It should be peer-reviewed ones, which you can refer to. So that is also really important when we want to publish in good quality journals. Now, another area where you really need to put your focus is the results and discussion section. Often we found, I saw some reports or something, 30-page report with 1 page of results and discussion. Do you think can we publish such kind of articles? Because results and discussion, that's the most important part. So you should cite the graphs, and it should be more visual so that it is easy for people to understand. Sometimes you find that people are citing tables and as well as they're showing the graphs. This is not a good practice because it is simple repetition. So if you are putting graphs, I prefer graphs instead of putting tables, because it's difficult to see some trend from a table. So make it more visual. And why visual is more important? Because it is easy to sell. So make things in that way. And discussion is the most important part in any article. So discussion, you write some information based on what you see in your findings, but it should be supported by published information. So if you find some information that this is showing this kind of trend, you check literature whether similar trends have been observed somewhere or not. So that part is very important, that whatever information you have found, whether it makes or it is theoretically justifiable or not. So that part you have to set lot of focus, and then comes conclusions where you show or you summarize what you have found, but there you can highlight a little bit of future scope. Another thing which makes publishing in good quality journals easy is in the discussion section, you add a table where you compare different published works and you show how your work is better than others. So with that summary table, it adds value to your work, and it is easy to publish. So always try to add one table at least in the discussion section where you show the comparison of different published work, and last will be your work, and you highlight in which areas your work is better. So that table actually, when the reviewers review your work, do you think that the reviewers are going to read each and every line of your work? Do you think so? No, they don't have time, and most of the cases we don't even get money to review. So they actually check few areas, and based on that area they decide whether it should be accepted or not. So, and also when you try to find a journal, there are some tools available in the internet where you can paste your abstract and it will suggest which journals may fit your article. So you can find those tools also. They are available with Elsevier, they are available with Springer. So you can just put your abstract there, paste your abstract, and it will automatically cite that these journals are good. Now, another easy way to publish in good quality SCI or SCOPUS journals. Now, how do I decide that this journal is a good journal? Based on the citation. So, wherever you want to publish, cite at least 1 or 2 papers which has been published earlier in that journal. So that will help the journal increase their citation, number one. Another thing, it proves that your article is in line with the objective of the journal. So it helps in the identification of the journal also. So wherever you want to publish, at least cite couple of articles in your work also. It indirectly proves that it is relevant there. And in today's world, I was actually, when sir was giving the presentation, I was there and I was checking ChatGPT. It is also a really good tool, what I found. And I wrote there that interdisciplinary areas of on media and communication. It gave me around 10 areas. And it was with media and anthropology, media with sociology, blah, 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 lot of areas it suggested. And then I wrote there, media and sociology, research gap. It even gave me all the research gaps. So it made our jobs pretty much easy. But the thing is, always remember, now when we do research, there are 3 areas where we need to put our focus. And that model is known as cyber, physical, social model. Earlier, we used to publish a lot of things based on physical models. Then came cyber physical models. That means you add some computational part to it, it works. But today, if you can add a social component to it, that means its impact on human beings. So then cyber physical social models, if you can touch, it is easy to publish because people are now interested in those cyber physical social models. So if you focus in those areas, that will be easy to publish in good quality journals. Another simple way to publish in a good quality journal, very simple way. You write based on all these criteria, then send it to a good quality journal. let it be refused, rejected. But the reviewers will write a number of comments, address those comments, write it, then submit in a good quality journal. There is 90% chance the article is going to be accepted. So this is the easy way or easiest way to publish in good quality journals. So I think I tried to cover some areas, and I already mentioned, I think, about the clone journals. We have to avoid the clone journals. And another thing you check, if any journal or any link of the journal is saving their files in Google Drive, you will find a number of such journals. You should not go for those journals. That means definitely these are cloned journals. So always go by the link that is given in the UGC website. And another thing you try to remember, when you are talking about WOS, there are WOS core journals. Focus on WOS core journals, not with each and everything, because there are a number of WS journals which are not accepted by UGC. Even though it is WS, but you have to go by WS core journals. And SCI is fine, SCOPUS is fine, but for SCOPUS also try to focus on Q1 and Q2. Not with Q3 and Q4, try to avoid them. And UGC care, try to avoid. But if you have already published somewhere there, keep a screenshot that on that day of publication, it was there in the UGC care list. Otherwise, nobody is going to accept your journal or your article. So these things you have to take care, and it will help you write good quality articles in SCI or SCOPUS or WS core journals. Thank you. Thank you again, the whole team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for the insights. I guess the participants have already taken the notes of it. I have taken like cyber, physical, and social model, which is good if you actually focus on it. And a very good insight, sir, if you can actually cite whichever journal you are actually applying for, if you can cite previous researches from that journal, this will align your research with the objective of that journal, right, sir? Thank you, sir. Now I would like to call Dr. Moni for share his thoughts. Thank you.
Before I speak, I would request Professor Dev Kumar, who is my senior here, to come and speak a few words on today's topic. Dev Kumar, sir, please come in.
It's very nice opportunity to stand before you. I think this FDP is a special occasion. I can say that it is taken care of in such a field where normally in the professional activity areas like mass communication, journalism, and etc., not much research work is done leading to PhD and that type of things. So it is very good. And while doing the PhD and some other research, you need to publish papers. So this FTP is focusing on not only how to write paper and where to write paper, but the background support for this, that the full research methodology. I think this FDP will keep a specific mark in this field. With this, I expect so many research-minded people will be motivated and will do the needful in this field. Thank you very much.
I'm so happy that today most of the points are covered by my dignitaries here, Vice Chancellor sir, and the external expert. But before we go into our sessions, And the first session is taken by Professor Dr. Kushal Kumar, who is a retired professor from Mysore University. And you can see in the brochure that we have highly acclaimed professionals who have tons of publications in revered Scopus and WOS journals throughout this country, who are expert in this particular FDP. Before I go to them, I just will take 30 seconds to sum up what is the idea of this faculty development program. In this country, we academicians many times face a huge number of difficulties in publication. We publish in some journals which are in Scopus, but they get deregistered later on after publication. There are clone journals. Some journals are print-only journals, which are not accepted when it is years after your publication. So there are a number of difficulties we face regarding publications. This particular difficulty, we want through this faculty development program to come down. Because the core of solving this problem of publication is to write quality papers which provide solutions to the contemporary problems, specifically in media and communication. I hope through this particular faculty development program, we will be able to conclude and bring down the problems of publication and be able to enhance the quality in terms of solutions provided to them. With this, I announce the opening of faculty development program at Adamas University, School of Media and Communication open. And Shaikji, can we take the things forward from here? Yeah.
For the rest part of the inaugural ceremony, I would like to call my colleague, Professor Navina Chakraborty ma'am, to do the felicitation and the concluding of the inaugural ceremony.
A very warm good morning to all of you, dignitaries. And it's really an auspicious time for any faculty and researcher. So before further ado, I just would like to ask our Associate Dean, Sir, Dr. Muni, and our Pro Vice Chancellor, Sir, to felicitate our external expert, Ms. Priyanka. Kindly please give me the Uttorio and the memento. Yes, sir. So kindly do the felicitation. Thank you so much, sir, for this gesture. And from here now, we are going to start our faculty development program. Dear participant, today is the first session of faculty development program. Now it will begin, and we have 10 sessions, 2 in each day, and they are: first session, the starting point, how to choose your topic; second session, literature review; third session, research framework development; fourth session, qualitative research methodology; fifth session, quantitative research methodology; sixth session, mixed research methodology; 7th session, research conclusion and future scope, and 8th session, referencing and plagiarism, and the 9th session, publication in UGC CARE, SCOPUS, and WS journals. And the last but not least, promoting research on digital platform. That's a very important point. And so from here, we are starting our session. Thank you very much, each and every participant, dignitaries, my faculty colleagues, my technical support. To all, each and everyone is heartily welcome to the session. And trust me, this is the beginning, not the end. And from here, we are starting. Thank you so much.